Beloved principal, respected teachers, and all my dear friends. I am Reema K of class 9th, utilizing this occasion to share you the causes of continuous landslides in Kerala. First of all, I start with the situation of the Kerala, which we had faced for last 3 years, including this year. On 16th August 2018, severe flood affected Kerala due to high rainfalls during the monsoon seasons. On 2019's flood, there had been 80 landslides in the span of just 2 days, as said by the Chief Minister. Many people feared to be buried under were being rescued. 1,789 houses damaged completely, while the partially damaged houses were 14,542. On 2020, August 8th, massive landslide triggered by the monsoon rainfalls occurred in a tea plantation in Idukki district, Rajmala. One of the causes of the landslides was the flood which we had faced for the last 2 years. Now, how can the rainfall responsible for these landslides? Water can trigger landslides because it alters the pressure within the slab which leads to instability. Consequently, the heavy water laden slab materials will succumb to the forces of gravity. Excessive amount of water is thought to be one of the most common triggers of the landslide. It can be the triggers of the landslides because it is heavy and adds extra weight to the land. Deforestation can also be a reason for the landslide. Deforestation and destruction of water canals caused irreparable damages on the top layer of the soil on hills and resulted in landslides in hilly regions. In Nepal and Africa, due to continuous landslides, prevention steps had been taken. That was planting bamboo for keeping the soil stabilized. Bamboo is very light, yet it is 3 times stronger than timber. With their deep roots, they can prevent the erosion caused by the landslides. They are especially useful on the slopes, where their dense root systems help secure and protect the soil so that it's less likely to become detached. I prefer to take such kinds of steps to prevent such future calamities. That's all. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi, I'm Fadela Zainab of class 9. Here my topic is Indo-China conflict. India and China are two emerging global powers now, with China's 144 crore and India's 138 crore population. Both countries together have about 36% of the world population. The economic activity is also growing proportionately, hence both the countries are focusing to the superpower level in the nearest future. India and China share a border line of 3,488 km. This border line is complex in nature and not clearly demarcated throughout. Some areas there is no mutually agreed line of actual control. Indo-China border can be divided into three sectors: Western, Middle and Eastern regions. Western boundary issues are mainly related to Johnson Line proposed by the British in 1860. During 1950, India claimed that the region Aksai Chin is a part of India. Initially, China was not objecting this, but later China reversed from its stance and occupied this region with them. In the middle sector, China claims around 2,000 square kilometer territory, which is currently under Indian control. In the eastern sector, the major dispute is over the McMahon Line. During 1914, the officials of India, China and Tibet met in Shimla to resolve the issues, but China was refusing the outcome of the meeting. Even though several bilateral talks were done, several times the conflict extended to clashes. During 1962 and 67, it resulted even in wars between the two forces. Even after several decades, still these regions are highly sensitive. During June month of this year, there was a direct clash between the two forces in the Galwan Valley. This time also China's intrusion in Ladakh was to reaffirm their claim over the Aksai Chin Plateau. In view of the possessing of nuclear weapons by both countries, it is imperative to resolve all the border issues in a mutually agreeable way. We hope The creative bilateral talks between the two emerging powers can develop a friendly relationship in the nearest future. Thank you.
Respected principal, teachers, and my dear friends, me Kartika Vinod of class 9th. I am going to say a few words on the topic the possibilities of zero academy. The demand for a zero academic year is being raised as there is no respite from the coronavirus. The online classes going on now are an emulation of real classrooms and also a travesty of education. Moreover, the unavailability of digital devices continues to cause a huge gap in society. It is in this context that the demand for this year to be considered as a zero academic year is emerging from various quarters of society. But what is this zero academic year? Our educational process is structured in such a way that it progresses hierarchically from one stage to the other. Each academic year, the cognitive abilities that the student acquires through the teaching learning process from the basis for the next year. Therefore, it is imperative that every student pass through each step as they are connected spirally. If students are not able to successfully complete an academic year, it deprives them the basics to progress to higher levels. But this is a unique situation in which no student is able to complete the minimum requirement for getting promoted to the next level. This is where the discussion of zero academic year comes into play. A zero academic year makes all students eligible to proceed to the next stage without any screening. To put it a little more clearly, zero academic year means giving everyone the right to enter the next level without a mandated teaching learning process. But I think there is no zero academic year going on, but Latin academic year, because education is provided online. But a major criticization for this is that the authorities can't reach complete students. The need for the hour is that either the government should ensure online education for each and every student or consider this year as zero academic year. So I am concluding my speech. Let us all pray to the Almighty that this pandemic ends soon. Hoping to see you all soon. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi friends, good morning. My name is Aditya and I am from class 6th A, and today I am going to be talking about the COVID-19 pandemic and its impacts on the world. The COVID-19 pandemic originated from Wuhan, China. Then it spread from one person to another. The first symptoms observed were respiratory symptoms like coughing, difficulty in breathing, sneezing, etc. It mainly affected the young below 10 years and the elderly above 60 years. People who already have the virus are mostly already having respiratory associated diseases like bronchitis, asthma, pneumonia, etc. The COVID-19 spread from one person to another. This got too severe and the government had to shut down everything. And the lockdown was initiated. People from abroad could not come home due to this virus. But as time passed, people started coming home, but they needed to follow some rules and regulations like wearing mask when going home, avoiding physical contact with any person, and staying in home quarantine for 14 days. After staying in home quarantine for 14 days, if any symptoms occur, it is recommended to go for the COVID-19 checking in the hospital. The government has made some rules for our safety during this time. They are: wash hands with soap and water regularly, wear mask when going outside, avoid unnecessary traveling, and avoid unnecessary physical contact. The impact of the COVID-19 on the world is very severe nowadays. Some countries even had to give up due to this virus. The schools got closed and all the examinations were cancelled. Last year, we could go to school, meet our friends, talk with them, or just have some fun. But this year, now that the classes are being held online, we can only see them through a video. A lot of children, including me, miss my school friends, and other children also miss their school friends. Friends, the COVID-19 pandemic has no vaccine and it has not been found yet. But we should follow the precautions till the vaccine has been found for this deadly virus. So let's stay home, stay safe, break the chain of COVID-19, and let's hope for a COVID-19 free future. Thank you and bye.